Before the murders at Hinterkaifeck, there was fear. Not sudden fear, not panic. Something slower, something that settled in quietly. The farm stood alone in southern Germany, surrounded by dense forest. No nearby neighbors, no streetlights, no sounds at night except the wind and the animals. And then, sounds that did not belong. Days before anyone died, Andreas Gruber noticed footprints in the snow. They came from the edge of the forest. They led straight to the farmhouse door. But when he followed them, there were no footprints leaving the property. Someone had come, and they had not gone back. Soon after, Andreas began hearing noises at night. Heavy footsteps above the ceiling, slow movement in the attic. Not animals, not the wind. Footsteps. Keys disappeared, tools were moved, doors that had been locked were found open. The family felt watched. They spoke about it among themselves, but they never told anyone else. The previous maid had left the farm abruptly, claiming the house was haunted. A new maid arrived only hours before the murders. She would not live to see another day. On the evening of March 31st, 1922, something happened inside the farmhouse, something that caused members of the family to leave the safety of their home. One by one, they stepped into the barn, into the dark. There were no cries for help, no gunshots, no struggle that anyone nearby could hear. Each victim was killed with a mattock, a heavy farming tool. The blows were precise, repeated, delivered with control. This was not rage, this was intention. Afterward, the bodies were stacked together and carefully covered with hay, not hidden in haste, placed, as if the killer wanted them kept there. But the violence did not end that night. The following morning, smoke rose from the farmhouse chimney. Neighbors later reported seeing it clearly. The animals were fed, the cows were milked. Food had been prepared in the kitchen. Someone was still inside the house, for days. When neighbors finally entered the farm, what they discovered was horrifying. The entire family was dead. The maid had been killed in her room, her body showing signs of a violent struggle. But there were signs of life after death. Plates had been used, beds had been slept in, the house had been lived in. Evidence suggested the killer moved freely through the farmhouse, at night, in silence. One detail disturbed investigators more than any other. One of the children had survived for several hours after the initial attack. She was found with clumps of her own hair torn from her scalp. She had been alive, alone, in the dark. Despite one of the largest investigations of its time, no suspect was ever convicted. The case collapsed under unanswered questions. Years later, the farm was demolished, the land left empty. No memorial stands there, no marker. Only the forest remains, and the case still lingers. Because whoever committed the murders at Hinterkaifeck was never found, and whoever stayed in that house afterward was never seen.